All right, man. So the other day, I'm minding my business, and Pat put uh, a text in the group chat. First, I ain't look at it because I forgot what I was doing. But then when I looked at it, I was like, man, what the heezy fo sheezy is this? And we call this the simp text. So apparently, it say my 17-year-old asked if he could go on a date with a young lady from school. He says this is his fatherly response. And Pat's coming from the perspective of the father because he's a father. Uh, I'm soon to be father, as soon as I find the right club to shoot up, but that's here nor there. So he says, that's fine. I want you home absolutely no later than 7:30. Cool. Public places only. No homes, no private rooms, no nakedness. Cool. Comfort yourself as a gentleman. Yeah. Comport yourself as a gentleman, respectful, polite. Cool. Open doors, offer to pay for everything. If it's a date and you offered, yeah. Listen way, way more than you speak. She's the boss. This is where he go left. This is where he go left. This is where he go left. Listen way, way more than you speak. I don't have a problem with listening more than you speak, but saying she's the boss, you're simply honored she's chose to spend time with your goofy ass. Your job is to be chivalrous, courteous, and kind while simultaneously being protective and strong. You're a man, but moreover, you're my son. Conduct yourself accordingly. Tell her what you got to tell him, bro. Tell him what you got to tell him, bro.
Look, bro.
As a father. As a father.
Section 5, I got a whole problem with the whole thing. Starting with listen way, way more than you speak. I don't have a problem with you listening more than you speak. I don't even have a problem with you listening one way more than you speak. But two ways more than you speak,
Way.
like,
It's a conversation.
right. Like, I gotta reposition myself. Look, Mr. Bad Dad, training your son to be a simp that's gonna be taken over and abused by all of the women he runs into. Um, how in the fuck is your daughter, his date, supposed to get to know him if he ain't talking? You make it sound like this is an employment contract and he's signing up to be her bodyguard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But but she's the boss. You're simply honored she chose to spend time with your goofy ass. What type of bullshit is something that's to say to your
which
son?
see, we was gonna get there
I'm sorry.
because no. You right. You right, bro. You right. I just wanted because I know a lot of people see what happens. This is a real creative debate tactic, like logic tactic. You present something that's mildly outrageous, but you present it in front of something that's boldly outrageous, and then people is like, "Well, this thing is cool." No, all of Section 5 is a problem. All of it. Listen way, way more than you speak. How is she supposed to get to know him? Oh, I get it. In your world, she don't have to get to know him because he ain't worthy of getting to know.
Right.
That's
He
what
just
we
need to
find out
know
in the
her.
rest
Right.
of it.
Right.
Right,
Because he's less than she is. Because he said it.
right,
He said
right.
that she's less than he is. That's some fuck shit to teach your son.
So now she's the boss. The fuck kind of shit is that to even
Why?
introduce into that? There is no
Why?
boss employee dynamic
Why?
in the relationship.
Why? In the real world, to be the boss, that position is earned.
And what
It's a
do
date. Damn, daddy, chill
right?
the hell out.
But this is right. See, and here's the thing, right? The boss usually is in a position of power over the employees, but the employees is still compensated. What is she? Her presence is supposed to be enough. What kind of sucker ass, simple ass son
Right.
are
Right.
you raising?
Right. Her presence isn't enough. Can I get to know you? Can I see what type of quality human being you are? Talking about your presence. Come on, man. Stop that.
Right. Like,
Stop setting your son up to you. He's always going to see himself as less than any woman he's
mm-hmm.
coming in. He's
He's
always going to be trying to measure up. He's always going to be feeling like he's playing from behind like the underdog, and his self-confidence not gonna be where it need to be. And you call him well, she because you what he said, you were simply honest. She chose to spend time with your goofy ass. Now,
Right.
whether you joking or not, that's not what you tell your
The
son.
goofy ass is probably a joke. The rest of it ain't.
But still, I understand. I understand that it could have been a joke, and I'm not sure how they joke with each other. But in that context, in my opinion, in that context, because you already telling him his self esteem and his value don't mean shit.
Right. He's of no value.
Then you throw that in, and it could be cracking jokes with him, but
No,
you already started off wrong. You already went left at Albuquerque.
yeah,
So
I wouldn't even, because I considered the joking angle when I first read it. But when it's read in context with everything else, even if it is a joke, it's a bad joke. You're belittling your son, telling him that he's inferior to this girl. And the bad part is, you don't even know this girl.
that's not what type of man these women want. These women want strong, confident men who assure themselves, who can handle their business, and who won't allow them to run over them. Like
But
real
here's the
women.
problem. Here's the problem. Judging by the over 100,000 likes and positive comments and shit that thing got, the type of men that people want and the type of men that they're creating are two separate types of men. Because they keep creating suckers like this boy that his dad is trying to create, but they keep saying they want something different. So when do we get to the point where we're actually creating the types of
Yeah,
men that we want?
yeah, yeah. And we see, we saw a lot of women supporting it. I
Uh,
did see some guys in the comments supporting it as well, and I'm just like, that's in my opinion, this is a horrible message to tell your son. You could tell your son to be a gentleman, and because you that lesson's supposed to be taught. And I'm not saying he's not teaching his son, but you should be showing your son to be an example of a gentleman for your son to follow.
look,
But even in having these conversations, you don't have to like demean your son's worth just to get him to understand that you need to treat a woman with respect and be courteous.
this is what I'm gonna say. I am gonna say that he's not teaching his son the things that he needs to teach his son because he thought it was a good idea to screenshot this message and put it on social media publicly for the rest of the world. So not only is he clout chasing what's supposed to be a respectable moment between a father and son, but he's giving bad advice while he's doing it and giving other people avenues to co-sign and use
Yeah,
it as encouragement to spread bad advice.
yeah,
There's nothing cool. Like all of the goodwill that he built up in the first part of that message was utterly destroyed by part five. There's
yeah.
no, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, like, yes, set boundaries. Yes, have respect. Be a gentleman. Um, Create a pleasurable, safe experience for this young lady. This young lady shouldn't leave because for me, in my when I'm on dates with young ladies, I do my best to give her the best experience that I can give her. I
Mm-hmm.
I can only give you what I can give. Outside of that, hey man, I don't know what to tell you, but I can only give you the best experience that I can give her. I'm gonna bring my 100%. I'm gonna be. I'm from the South, and I was taught to be courteous, to be a gentleman, to be all these things. But I've also been taught to recognize and know who I am and be comfortable and proud of who I am, and being comfortable in my masculinity, being comfortable in the strength that I have, being sure of myself, and understanding that I don't have to devalue myself or belittle myself just to make somebody else like me, or to I don't have to put somebody on the pedestal just to make them feel good about me. If
And
I can't, if me being me and being the best version of myself isn't enough for you, then that means me and you can't be together. But I would never talk to my son or any other male child in this manner to get them to be a
I
gentleman
would
to a young lady.
I would take it a step because you're not raising him to be a gentleman. You're
Raising him to be
raising him
a,
to be a simp,
a doormat.
to be a sucker. At the very best, with this type of instruction, he's gonna be a sucker. At the very best, he's a
I'm just
sucker.
saying. I'm just
At the
saying.
absolute worst, he a simp.
You just, hey, let her run all over you. Like women, I know I keep hearing women saying they don't want a guy who they could just run all over, and you
But
teaching
they,
him.
yeah, but they lying. And this
I
goes
mean, I
back
know
to
that.
when we
I
was
know,
on PC show. They lying. People
I know.
gotta stop lying because of how many women I know with sons that co-sign this, and honest. A lot of the women that I know personally that I showed that to, they were like, "Yo, that's crazy." Because I'm gonna
What
be go ahead.
shout out to the homegirl who saw this and was like, this bullshit. Shout out to Dominique.
Right. So Dominique, Kristen, friend of the show, showed it to her. She said it was bullshit. There's a couple people that have been on the show before that I mess with on a personal level. They all said it was BS, but that doesn't change the fact that it's got hundreds of thousands of positive interactions all over social media. So I'm looking at it from the standpoint of not only are you raising uh, a sucker or a shimp, you're propagating that type of message. You're also setting him up to always view himself as the inferior and to view the woman as the prize in
Right,
every scenario, which is
right,
a recipe for disaster. But then
right.
you run into this space where I'm like, yo, I wouldn't let my daughter date a dude like that, and I wouldn't let my sons be friends with a dude like that. And if I know you and you raising your sons like that, I'm not friends with you because I can't co-sign that, and I don't want my daughter to be that close to that type of toxicity. That's toxicity to me.
That's like it's like comes off as needy and weak to me. Um,
Very
hey, the only way I know how to really get you to like me is to is to lower myself, is to just try to try to play into the princess syndrome of
right.
I have to cater to you and give you everything you desire and be I have to become this unrealistic fantasy for you when I know it's unattainable. So it's
Right.
because it seemed like it will create one of those relationships where the young man is just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, and everything in this relationship about will be about him giving and giving and giving and
Mm-hmm.
pretty much getting nothing.
That's why he's a simp. He's put his son on the spectrum.
I mean, cause really, like, what you looking for? Like, what is he getting back? Sex?
He ain't even getting that. In this situation, he's not getting that either. He's
He get
getting
friends on,
he's getting her attention temporarily.
but
That's
yeah,
all he's getting.
he's getting friends on. He might be one of the dudes. Well, he's a friend zone, but he's a dude in the lineup, but still in the friend zone. And when she want to go certain places and don't want to pay, might well get old boy.
Yeah, he break the like you, and it's crazy because we see this all the time. I talk about like athletes, entertainers, but one of the things I've been saying a lot for the past few years is everybody keep acting like having a father in the home is no. A lot of the times having a father in the, especially if a father spreading this kind of message, like I said, he put his son on the spectrum. And for those of you that don't know, I'm not talking about autism or nothing else. I'm talking about the fuckboy spectrum. He put his son on the spectrum, right?
Yeah,
Like, why would you do that to your son? Now, I don't, bruh, because I feel like I'm talking in circles now. That shit set me off because one of the problems we're having in the community is the fact that men are finally starting to get over this type of indoctrination, this
yeah,
type of instruction.
because he's gonna be mad when reality hit and be like, "Damn, pops, you set me up."
Yeah. And then the worst part about it, you set me up in public.
But see, what that's another thing to parents. Stop putting your kids' life on your timeline. Stuff like that. That should have been the private conversation between him and his son. I don't care how proud he feel that his son going on a date and all this. I don't nobody give a fuck. Keep that, especially the way you exchange. Keep that. A lot of this stuff that y'all feel like we want to see. Keep that shit between you and y'all
Yeah.
kids. Y'all kids don't want to be on y'all goddamn timelines.
It's telling to me that you need that kind of validation. And I'm going back to the father again. This was an opportunity for you to have a real moment with your son, and you chose to use it to clout chase. That's telling to me. Like, and then on top of that, now I'm looking at the scenario and I'm like, well, for you to say this and then put it out there like it's a good thing. So I know you're probably married, right?
Hopefully,
Um, hopefully, and if not, then we can gather why. One of the reasons why, because you're on the spectrum too. Because
yeah,
it takes somebody on the spectrum to raise somebody on the
she
spectrum.
didn't respect you.
Um, but now there's just so much wrong with this, just on a man level. There's just it's a
Yeah,
violation of a few man codes. And that's one of the problems too. Y'all dudes don't be respecting the code.
they don't live by
Everything
no
ain't
code.
out there. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. A lot of you motherfuckers is on the spectrum,
But because y'all don't live by no code, y'all ain't got no guidelines on how you supposed to move out here in these streets, and y'all out
and
here just
that's
doing
why
every
you on
goddamn thing. No leadership, no guidance, no discipline, no structure, and y'all here fucking up.
and that's why you on the spectrum. And that's why when real dudes come around, they start acting like it's a bitch around. Because you there.